Hello, buddy. Welcome back to Tin Man Score Channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor, and today I got two more chapters left out of the They Saw Sasquatch book, so I figured I'd go ahead and read them for you today and finish the book off. So the first chapter I'm reading out of here today is an encounter that happened in southern Ohio, and the date takes place in August of 1977. The nearest town to this encounter is Medford in Sasquatch County. It was approximately 10:30 p.m. on a clear night. My grandma was on the phone with a church friend, and my grandpa was out doing something related to school. I stepped out onto the back porch to get some guitar strings I had left in the car, which was parked in the short driveway. As soon as I stepped outside, I noticed a very foul smell like skunk and rotten meat. It was a very weird odor, unlike anything I had smelt before. Oh, I can imagine it because I barely can stand a skunk smell. So imagine that mixed with rotten meat. Oh, that would make you gag for sure. I reached down and picked up a broken axe handle and started tapping it on the concrete as I walked. As I wasn't interested in running into a skunk, I proceeded to the rear of the car and started to put the keys in the lock. I heard a rattling sound that seemed to be coming from everywhere. I stopped and looked around, and suddenly there was silence. That struck me as odd because the pond behind the house was normally raging with crickets and frogs, but it was absolutely silent. I again went for the lock, and again the rattling sound started. It was clear, but I saw nothing. Then I realized I was being watched from behind. As I turned, the rattling sound returned, and there, 30 or 40 feet away, was a huge creature at least 8 feet tall. It had no neck, very long arms, and was reddish black in color. The beast was covered from head to toe with hair which was longer on its forearms and around where its neck should have been. Its face was hairless around its mouth, eyes, and nose. It was a heavy brow, and I could not see its eye color. Its arms swung forward and hit the barbed wire fence it was standing behind. That was the rattling sound. I have no idea of how long I stood there in shock. I hit the kitchen table on my way through the house, and my grandma said I was making no sense. As I ran down the hall to my room, my gun cabinet was locked, so I began breaking the glass front as Grandma came and telling me to calm down. I told her there was a monster outside. She said, "It's one of your friends playing a joke, and if you take that gun out, I will call the sheriff." I told her to call the sheriff, game warden, and state police. I zipped past her carrying my loaded .30-30. She followed right behind me. I ran out of the house, and the thing was gone. She asked me, "Where is the monster? And what on earth is that smell?" I kept telling her it was right there. After saying that a couple of times, we both heard something going through the trees beside the house back towards the fence. And then the entire fence line shook, and there it was running through the field and up the hill, which was void of trees until you get to the top. Jeez Louise, I don't know what was wrong with Grandma. I guess she was trying to protect who or whatever was about to get shot by her grandson, but Lordy, his friends would not be playing no joke like that. But man, I was glad that Grandma was able to hear and see movement in the brush going towards the fence. My gun was sighted on it. It was amazingly fast, and I kept saying, "It runs like a man." I don't know if I was saying it out loud or not, but something in my head said, "But it's way too big, and no man can run like that uphill." I lowered the gun. As it got to the top, it turned and screamed at us. It started out low-pitched and then went up very high. It lasted for maybe 8 to 10 seconds. Then it walked into the woods. The thing scared the bejeebies out of Grandma. I've told very few people this story because they just laugh. I always told myself one day we'll bring whatever it was in. Then we'll see who is nuts. Edward Doc Bashford, formerly of Kirby, Oregon. Oh, so that was the guy that mentioned in the last story I just read you. So this is his encounter that he had when he was a younger kid. But man, I was just glad that him and his grandma did not get hurt, because you never know what these Bigfoots would do. If they saw you had a gun, they either run away or they might end up jumping the fence. But at least the grandma believed him. But I figured if you told everybody in town, they probably think you're nuts. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. This has been another successful installment of the Tin Man Score channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor. I said that's a wrap, and have a nice day.